that they were going to stay there and they were going to do what they had to do. That changed. That changed. And so it caused the
Which of the two championships do you like better?
Oof, that's a tough question. You know, this year was really a special team. Last year we had a special team. You know, it's really hard. You know, they were both great. You know, I love this program. I love this school. So, you know, just to be a part of history, a place where it's hard to make history, you know, it means a lot to me. And you know, I love both of these natties the same.
So there aren't a lot of people who are bigger than you, let alone centers you play against who are bigger than you. Last night, you're what, 7'2", 280. Last night, Zach Edey, 7'4", 300 pounds. What was it like to go up against a mountain?
Yeah, I mean, he was very, very strong. He's very big. He's tall. He knows how to use his size to his advantage. You know, but you know, we came up with a good game plan to just, you know, let him try to score 70 and beat us, and don't let the guys on the perimeter, you know, touch the ball and don't let them score. You know, he was going for the 2-point plays, and in my head, I was just like, I can't foul him and get those extra and ones to get him to the free throw line. You know, just got to be smart, wall up, and you know, if he makes two, he makes two. You know, don't let the 3-point shooters make shots, and you know, protect the rim at all costs.
That was I have to say, it's gutsy. You guys didn't double Zach Edey underneath, and that's something. Listen, you lost your mother in 2018, and we are so sorry for your loss. She was a baller, too. I mean, what, 3 NCAA tournaments?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think that she would like most about this for you?
Yeah, just, you know, how hard I've worked and, you know, what I started with. You know, I played at public high school. You know, I played on a, you know, very small AAU team. You know, I worked hard, and you know, I tried to make it to a very high level. And you know, I was able to make history. You know, I know she's smiling down on me. I know, you know, she's happy for me. You know, and you know, I wish she could be, you know, part of it. But you know, like I said, I know she's proud of me.
I'm sure she would be so proud of you. I know we lost the signal there. Donovan Clingan, what an athlete and what a nice guy. There are new developments in the case against Donald Trump. A new hour of CNN News Central starts right now.
Another attempt to delay, rejected. Donald Trump's hush money trial will go forward next week, and we now know what the potential jury will be asked ahead of this historic case. And speaking of historic, a historic sentencing. How far will a judge go to hold the parents of a school mass shooting accountable for their role in their son's crimes? And absolutely no control of his emotions. That is what prosecutors are saying about Alec Baldwin on the Rust movie set. Why, they argue, this compromised safety on the set where the cinematographer was shot and killed. I'm Kate Baldwin with John Berman. Sarah is out today. This is CNN News Central.
This morning, the trial is set to begin for real, it seems. Donald Trump's attempt to delay his criminal trial in New York denied overnight, maybe for the last time. And for the first time, we have a window into the jury selection process, which some attorneys will tell you is the most important part of any trial. Starting on Monday, Trump is required to sit in a courtroom 4 days a week for at least the next several weeks as arguments over his 34 charges involving lies, payments to an adult film actress play out. The first part is already underway with a jury questionnaire released overnight. CNN's Caitlin Polantz has the details on this. A lot of really interesting questions, Caitlin.
Yeah, John, 42 questions these potential jurors are going to be asked and have to answer. That's only the start of the process of jury selection that will start next Monday, April 15th, in this first trial of former President Donald Trump in New York. These questions are built to weed out people who may have a strong bias for or against Donald Trump and cannot find a way to be an impartial juror. So some of the questions will just give enough information to the defense team and to the prosecutors to ask further questions. So an example of that is there is going to be a question asked of these potential jurors of what print publications, cable news outlets, or other online media they are consuming regularly. Do they watch CNN? Do they read the Washington Post? Do they watch Fox News, MSNBC? Do they read the New York Times? That is one of the questions. That doesn't necessarily mean someone will be tossed just because they say yes to that or because they say they watch one of the cable news networks, but it does allow both sides to ask further questions to see if there's a bias. One of the things, too, that the judge has said here, just being a member of a political party or voting for Donald Trump, that is not going to be even asked. He says there are no questions asking prospective jurors whom they voted for or intend to vote for in this upcoming election or whom they have made political contributions to. However, there are questions about do you have a strong opinion or belief about Donald Trump as president 4 years ago or as his candidacy continues for president now in a way that makes you unable to set aside the facts here. And then there are also questions if you have worked for or volunteered for him in the past. John?
All right, just some of the questions, and that is only the beginning. Caitlin Polantz, thank you very much for that reporting. Kate?
And to another Trump case right now, special counsel Jack Smith has a new ask of the Supreme Court when it comes to Donald Trump and presidential immunity. Now, this, remember, involves Smith's federal election subversion case against Donald Trump. Jack Smith is now urging the court to reject Trump's wishes to get the charges tossed out. And we are now 16 days out from oral arguments before the high court. CNN senior Supreme Court analyst Joan Biskupic is joining us now with more on this. Joan, can you walk us through what exactly Jack Smith is saying and asking here?
Sure. Good morning, Kate. It's a very forceful filing in advance of the April 25th oral arguments. This is his main attempt to make a case in writing. His lawyers will be making it in person on April 25th, but this is in writing. And he rejects across the board in a very unequivocal way Donald Trump's claim of absolute immunity. He says that nothing in U.S. history, dating back to the founding, or any Supreme Court precedent since would allow a president to claim absolute immunity for any kind of actions in office, after office, against criminal prosecution. And what he does here, remember, Jack Smith has brought several charges, all related to the aftermath of the 2020 election, fraud against the U.S., obstruction of an official proceeding, denial of the right to vote. And first he reaches back to the founders and says the framers never endorsed criminal immunity for a former president, and all presidents from the founding to the modern era have known that after leaving office they face potential criminal liability for official acts. And I want to stress this is after leaving office. And then Special Counsel Smith pivots to a more modern precedent, and that involves Richard Nixon, who engaged in misconduct related to the Watergate cover-up. Remember the 1972 break-in of the Democratic National Campaign headquarters in the Watergate building, and Richard Nixon was an unindicted co-conspirator related to that cover-up. And Gerald Ford, when he became president after Nixon was forced out of office, pardoned Richard Nixon. And what Jack Smith is saying is that that pardon implicitly acknowledged that a former president could have been criminally prosecuted for his acts while in the White House. Kate.
So interesting, Joan. What do you think the high court, the justices are going to make of Trump's position here?
Well, in many ways, it's pretty audacious, Kate. He is saying he would be absolutely immune from any kind of criminal prosecution for any actions, including actions that would involve really serious alleged crimes. It would even go to, as emerged in the lower court hearing, to the president ordering some sort of hit on using SEAL Team 6 against a political rival. And what lower court judges did was just absolutely reject that out of hand. And there's a line that I think will strike this Supreme Court from the lower court ruling in this case that said whatever kind of executive immunity President Trump might have enjoyed while he was in office dissolved once he became citizen Trump. And that's what the court will be looking at here. Not what he could have been liable for while in office, but once he leaves office, could he face charges? And in this case, because of Trump's really no exceptions argument, I think they're going to reject it in the end. Maybe with some caveats, but I think he's headed for a rejection, Kate.
Wow. Joan, thank you so much. It's great to see you. Coming up still for us, the parents, next hour, the parents of the Michigan school shooter will be sentenced. That's happening today. Next hour, the first parents to be held criminally responsible for these horrific crimes committed by their son. How far will the judge go? We will soon find out. So she sued her state after Roe v. Wade was overturned, and now that doctor is running for Congress in a key battleground state and wants to make abortion rights the central issue. Plus, they were a critical part of President Biden's 2020 coalition. A closer look now, though, on why he is struggling with younger black voters this time around.
There's debris in the sky.
Parents, husbands, and wives gone.
I wish I could have done something differently. You can just make it better for those that follow.
Space Shuttle Columbia, the final flight, 2-part finale, Sunday at 9 on CNN.
File 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition. Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. Form 1040 and limited credits only. See how at TurboTax.com. That's me!
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein.
Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein, 30 grams protein, 1 gram sugar, 25 vitamins and minerals, and a new fiber blend with a prebiotic.
When you're the leader of disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
CIDP disrupts.
CIDP derails.
Let's be honest.
CIDP sucks.
But living with CIDP
doesn't have to.
When you sign up at shiningthroughcidp.com, you'll find inspiration and real patient stories.
Helpful tips, reliable information, and more.
CIDP can be tough.
But finding hope
just got a little easier.
Sign up at shiningthroughcidp.com.
Be heard, be hopeful, be you.
If your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms are stopping you in your tracks, choose Stelara from the start and move toward relief after the first dose with injections every 2 months.
Stelara may increase your risk of infections, some serious, and cancer. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've had an infection, flu-like symptoms, sores, new skin growths, have had cancer, or if you need a vaccine. PRES, a rare potentially